Today I'm sharing 7 home hacks to boost your productivity, especially if you have ADHD. I'm going to be giving both high-level strategies as well as low-level hacks to boost your productivity. And for each example, I'm going to be giving both a home example, so something that you can do in your home with your family, and then also a work from home solution or a side hustle solution. I am a self-proclaimed expert in helping people start side hustles from home. So becoming a virtual assistant, starting a YouTube channel, selling digital downloads, selling digital products. I love helping people start those businesses. So I am going to give both strategies on this. Now, I was late diagnosed with ADHD, not until I was in my 30s, and it was a struggle for so many years, and I really wish that I was diagnosed so much earlier. I think my life would have been so much more productive in school and life and all of these things. But when I was diagnosed, I went into a deep dive of, okay, how can I work with my brain? How can I turn this ADHD, which has been such a negative thing for so much of my life, how can I use it to hack my brain? How can I turn my ADHD into a superpower? So I'm going to go over some of those strategies that I've really done a lot of research on and really been like, okay, how can we hack our brain? How can we do this? Now, whether you're diagnosed with ADHD or you just have ADHD tendencies or live with someone with ADHD, this is going to help you. So even if you don't have an ADHD diagnosis, but you have some tendencies like difficulty with completing tasks, challenges with time management, or really struggling to get in or out of a intense focus mode, which is hyper focus. So we're going to go over all of these strategies. The first home hack is identifying a needle mover. So needle mover is a key task that is greatly going to help your business grow. By focusing on these important tasks every day, you're going to make steady progress and avoid wasting time on less important activities. I have very limited time to work in my business every day. I can only work during my daughter's nap time, which is about 2 to 3 hours a day. So during those 2 to 3 hours a day, I need to make sure that I'm maximizing my time. And I found that before I was focusing on the needle mover, I was just doing tasks in my business, things on my to-do list that needed to get done. But often I felt like, what did I get done today? What progress did I make in my business? Was today even a waste of time? Like, I just worked this whole nap time when, shoot, I could have been watching Love Island, or I could have been watching a true crime show, and I would have been just as productive in my head. And oftentimes after nap time, when I didn't feel as productive, I felt guilty the rest of the day, or I felt like all these things racing in my head. Oh, I should have done this. Oh, I could have done this better. Oh, now I feel like I'm behind in my business, and it just consumes so much of my brain versus being present with my family and spending quality time with my daughter and really focusing on being present with her versus my mind being like, you should have done this, you should have done this. Why is this behind? Why are you not hitting this deadline? So I made a simple switch, and that was identifying a needle mover every single day. And bonus points if you can even do it the night before, so that way when you wake up, you know exactly what you're going to be working on that day. So by switching this and identifying that needle mover, accomplishing that needle mover, I had to very consciously tell myself, if I completed this needle mover, it was a success for the day. I accomplished something in my business. So often I feel like I'm not accomplishing anything. And I think that it's weird. I have two different senses of accomplishment. And I was explaining this to someone that we were talking through ADHD, and she has a family member with ADHD, and we were talking through like what it's like in our brain. And I was talking about accomplishments, and there's two polar opposite ends of accomplishment, at least for me. So there's the example of cleaning the kitchen. So for me, if I'm doing the dishes, and this was especially true when I was pregnant, so I would just be exhausted, and I would, at the end of the day, cleaning the kitchen and doing the dishes, and I would get the whole sink cleared in kitchen and the dishes done, and I felt like that was an accomplishment. But then when I turn around, the rest of the kitchen is still messy. And my husband's like, okay, but you didn't finish the job, type of thing. But in my head, I'm like, yeah, but I made a dent in the dishes. The dishes, like that task is done. That's huge. That's an accomplishment. But then on the flip side, in my business, I feel like there's so many big projects that I feel like nothing gets done and nothing feels like an accomplishment. And an example of this would be a YouTube video. So for a YouTube video and me producing a YouTube video, I have to research the topic, script the video, I have to make a thumbnail, I have to film the video, I have to edit the video, I have to upload the video, I have to do the tags and the description and all of that. I have to promote the video. There's so many tasks, and it doesn't feel like an accomplishment until the video is completed and the project is completed. So whether this is for a launch or for a YouTube video or whatever it is, so often it just, all I see in my head is task, and it makes me just shut down. And it makes me just say, nope, that's too much. I can't, like, all of these tasks, it's just going to be too much and I can't do it. So with this, I found that identifying those needle movers, okay, what is the task for today that's going to help me get to my goal? So how are we going to define the needle mover? So in order to define the needle mover, you need to first identify what is the goal. So for example, a goal is I'm a virtual assistant and I want to get more clients. Okay, the goal is to get more clients. So the needle mover is going to be to pitch 5 people of my services and maybe pitch them on Instagram or email or LinkedIn and post on social media to promote my business. That would be the needle mover. A non-needle mover, a non-productive task, one that I feel like I'm being productive, but in all honesty, I'm not being productive. And that's just endlessly scrolling on Instagram looking for inspiration. When next thing I know, I'm more just consuming reels and just scrolling and not really doing market research and not really getting that inspiration. So that's an example for business. And an example of one in the home would be, say you're hosting a party and you are having company over, you're hosting a party. The end goal for that is to have a presentable house. The needle mover is going to be to clean the kitchen, clean the living room, clean the bathrooms, clean the public areas that people are going to see. A non-needle mover, one that we often feel productive, is hanging shelves in the garage that's been on the honey-do list. How many times have we seen the meme or the reel of a party happening and the wife is getting all ready for it and the husband's like doing something that has been on the list to do, but it has nothing to do with the party. That's not going to help get the party moving. But they're like, but it's on the list, but you've been asking me to do it. Like, yes, I've been asking you to do it, but that's not going to help to get the house clean. So identifying what's the goal, identifying what's the needle mover. And then sometimes I often have to identify what's not the needle mover because my brain is going to go to the easy task. My brain is going to go, oh yeah, that's more enjoyable. But at the end of the day, I want to go to what is going to make a difference in my business, what's going to make a difference in my house. So that is identifying the needle mover. I also have an exciting announcement. I was asked to be a speaker again. I spoke last year as well, but I was asked to be a speaker at the Get Organized HQ Summit. Last year, there was 125,000 people that attended. Holy cow, that is huge. That is amazing. So I was asked to give a talk on side hustles and starting a side hustle. So I'm giving a talk on how to turn your creativity and organizational skills into income streams. I'm helping you to figure out, okay, these are the skills that I have. How can I monetize them? How can I make money from home? And I'm going to break it all down for you, make it super simple. It's a really, really fun talk. So definitely sign up. It is completely free. For the event, I'll have the link down below to sign up. There is an option that if you do want to upgrade it for the all access pass that you can, I think it's $29 now, but then you get immediate access versus waiting until September 9th. And then you get lifetime access to all of the talks. There's over 100 speakers, which is so amazing. And some of the speakers are Cass from Clutter. She has a show on HGTV. Also, Catherine from Do It on a Dime, Dawn from The Minimal Mom, Christine from Frugal Fit Mom, Steph the Secret Slob, and there's so many different topics that are going to be covered as well. So everything from home organization to decluttering to effective planning, meal planning, helping to curate your wardrobe, cleaning solutions, going paperless, organizing your digital life, self-care, and then also there's some budgeting and finance and side hustle talks like myself. So it's going to be so much fun. I'm so excited for it when I was invited again this year, and I'm just so excited for it. So grab your link. Like I said, it's completely free and it's going to be amazing. So grab your link down below in the description. The next home hack is the 75 Business Challenge. And this is a free download that I have down below in the description. But this is a play off of the 75 Hard Challenge. Now, if you've never heard of the 75 Hard Challenge or you hear the 75, Don't let it throw you off, but and like be like, nope, not for me, too much. I don't want to do it. But it's so cool. So this is the 75 business challenge, and it breaks down all the different tasks that you do. But every day for 75 days, you're going to do these tasks and you're going to track them. It's a built-in habit tracker as well. But these tasks are specifically designed to help you to get outside your comfort zone, first of all, to be accountable, and to really make progress in your day, in your business, in your goals that you have. And I found that with these challenges, I've really seen so much transformation in my life, and in transformation for other people as well. As I'm like, dang, like they went here to here and they went on this journey and saw this transformation. I want that as well, which is so fun. So the task that you're going to do is a needle mover every day for your goal. Write down tomorrow's needle mover, post one piece of content, read 10 pages, 30 minutes of activity, and a bonus is to journal 3 pages. So with this, you're going to be tracking every single day, keeping yourself accountable, kind of like the don't break the chain. You don't want to miss a bubble here. And it also has some questions. What's this week's aha moment? Different things like that. But this is really going to help you to get pushed outside your comfort zone, which it's scary, it sucks, but at the end, the transformation is amazing. And when you're looking at, holy cow, these are the goals that I set, and this is what I did in the 75 days. Like, this is incredible. This is way more than I would have done without this. So I'll have it linked for you down below in the description. But the 75 business challenge, like I said, it's a play on the 75 hard, which I think this is honestly easier than the 75 hard, but it's really going to help you to hit those goals and to hit them faster than you would have without it. The next home hack is to use a visual timer. I have been someone that has played around with the pomodoro technique for many years, which is, if you're not familiar with pomodoro, you're doing blocks of work, of dedicated focused work for 25 to 30 minutes, and then you take a 2 to 3 minute break, and then you do another block for 25 to 30 minutes, and then take a 2 to 3 minute break, and you repeat the cycle however many times you want to. And it helps you to have that dedicated, focused, and really just like power to it, and then step away, get some water, go outside for a minute, walk around the block, and reset. And this has just helped in so many ways. But I found that taking it up a notch is adding a visual timer. So with this timer, I can visually set it, like for this, 55 minutes. And so I'm saying, okay, I have this at my desk at work, 55 minutes. I am now racing the clock. So now it becomes a challenge, and it becomes, okay, what can I get down in this time? I think it's Parkinson's law, where time is going to fill the amount of time that you give it. So if I say, okay, I need to get this needle mover done in the next 55 minutes, then that's it. Whether it's done or not, where I need to make sure that it is good to go, ready to hit send at the end of this 55 minutes. Whereas when I'm not doing this, where I'm like, okay, I have nap time to do this, and then if I don't finish it then maybe tomorrow I can finish it. And the next thing I know, it's taken me 3 days to complete a task, when in reality, if I just focus and said, I need to get it done, and whatever it is, it's good enough in this time, and I need to move on. And this is just something that has helped so much. And also with the visual timer, it also helps that I'm not on my phone. There's been times where I'm like, okay, I'll set a timer on my phone. Next thing I know, I'm checking email, I'm checking this notification, whatever it is. So now I just put my phone on focus mode, or I put it in a completely other room, and I use a visual timer to really say, okay, this is what I need to get done, and you need to be focused. You need to race the clock. You need to make it a game, make it a challenge. Another thing that this does is it helps to break the task into manageable chunks. So with the Pomodoro method, sometimes when I am working on my needle mover, and sometimes it's some moving parts, like if I'm working on a launch and I'm like, okay, I need to set up the sales page, I need to do the opt-in, I need to do this, I need to do all these different things. And sometimes it can be a lot and overwhelming. But when I'm doing the Pomodoro, I can say, okay, this chunk is for this, this chunk is for this, this chunk is for this. And it's helped me to break it into those more manageable items and those more manageable chunks of times, versus it seeming overwhelming and seeming like, oh my gosh, this is so much work and I'm never going to get this done. And this can also be used with housework. There's times where I will set a timer and I'll say, you know what? Okay, I'm going to spend 10 minutes a night tidying it up. 10 minutes a night, and whatever gets done in those 10 minutes, I'm going to race the clock. I'm going to go as fast as I can, but whatever I can get done, that's awesome and that's productive. And the next thing you know, it's like, oh, if you're doing this every single night, it's not going to build up. It's not going to be this super long 45-minute deep cleaning that you're going to have to do because you only do it once a month or whenever a company comes over. But if you spend 10 minutes a night, 15 minutes a night tidying up or decluttering, then next thing you know, you're making a lot more progress. And there's been so many times where I'm like, what's 10 minutes? Like, it's not going to make a difference. It's not going to make an impact like that. It's too cluttered right now. It's just too much. Toys are everywhere for my toddler, all this stuff, too much. But then it's like, no, 10 minutes does matter. It does make a difference. So not limiting yourself and saying it's too big, I can't do it. And then there's times where I'll set the 10-minute timer and then, I'm like, you know what? I got another 5 minutes. I could keep on going, or I'm in the groove of it. Sometimes we just need to start. And then once we're in the groove of it, we can keep on going. But we also have permission that we can stop when the timer goes off as well, which is great. So this is very low tech of the visual timer. There is a high tech version, and that is a app or a website called Toggle, and I'll have them linked it down below in the description. But Toggle is a really cool one that I personally use in my business. I track every minute that I'm working on my business. My husband teases me because I'll be working and he'll come over to ask me a question or talk to me about something and be like, hold on, I got to pause my timer. He's like, you got to clock out. I'm like, I do. I love data. I'm a numbers person, as you know from my budgeting stuff, but I love data and I love seeing, okay, this is how much time I'm spending in my business. This is how much time I am spending on each individual task. It really helps me to visually see my day. It also helps me that if I'm planning my week and I am saying, okay, I need to write a newsletter today. How long is a newsletter going to take? And rather than saying a newsletter is going to take all of nap time, 3 hours to write, I'm just going to make that my needle mover for the day is writing a newsletter. But if I have been tracking my time in Toggle, I can look back to all the previous weeks and see how long it's taken me to write my newsletter. So one week, it may have taken me 22 minutes. Another week, 33 minutes. Another week, 40 minutes. Another week, 20 minutes. So I can say, okay, on average, it's going to take me about 30 minutes. So now I know that I only need to allot 30 minutes in my day to my newsletter. And so I can see from past data, from past entries of how long it's going to take me. Another thing I love with Toggle is you can separate the tasks that you're doing. You can log it. You can log it with clients if you're a virtual assistant of tracking how much time you're spending for different clients and also with billing them, all of that. I also love to do a time audit. So every quarter and sometimes even month, if I feel like I'm not hitting my revenue goals, I'll go and I'll compare my income streams and I'll say, okay, this is the percentage of income for affiliate marketing, for sponsorships, for YouTube ads, for digital products, for courses, for my membership, all of that. I'll do all the categories in the percentage of what it is to my income. Then I can compare that with Toggle and I can see, okay, this is how much time I'm spending in all of these categories. Does this align? Maybe I'm spending 30% of my time on my digital products on my Etsy shop, but my digital products are only bringing in 5% of my income. That's not a good use of time. I need to be spending my time on things that are going to be bringing me more revenue or that are already bringing me revenue and leaning into those. If digital products aren't bringing in a good amount of revenue for me, then I shouldn't be spending 30% of my time there. So it's a great indicator for me of, hey, are we spending our time where we should be? Or are we spending our time on things that are bringing in revenue? Or are we wasting our time on things like replying to YouTube comments or, making reels and different things like that on social media, but is that actually bringing in new clients? Is that actually bringing in more sales or more views on YouTube, which then relates to ad revenue? So really doing that intense time audit and saying, okay, is this bringing me more revenue? Yes, no. I can really sit down and visually see it and have that built-in hard conversation with myself. And it's black and white. The paper, it's right there. Okay, now you may be saying, okay, Kelly, but I don't want to have to like remember to clock in and out every time, or that's just going to be another thing that I have to remember. I get that. It took me probably a week to really get the habit. I personally always have toggle as my like my left hand tab on my whatever window I'm working on in Chrome. So I know that it is always my left one. So as soon as I bring up my computer, and as soon as I open up Chrome, which is the browser I work through, I know that, okay, I got to log my time, start my timer before I start working. And I can always add time in. So if I forget to log a call or whatever it is, I can also manually enter it. But one thing that it does as well is it in the little like icon of the tab, when you're not logged in, it's gray. When you are logged in and you are logging time, it turns to pink. So subconsciously, I'll be working and I'll see that pink in the corner of my eye. And to me, that is like, we are focused. We are not dilly-dallying. We are not scrolling Instagram while we're trying to work. We are not doing other things while we're trying to work, or checking Facebook or whatever it is while we're trying to work. When that is pink, that is focus time. I am clocked in. I am on the clock. I am serious. And that is something that I have really had to work on and really say, okay, we are in focus mode. And like I said, no, I only work when my daughter naps. So I've had to get very diligent about that. Now, if you wanted to, you could also use this as a time blocking and seeing how are you spending your day. So whether you want to write it down on a piece of paper, or if you want to use it in toggle, you may say, okay, like, where is my day going? I know I struggled with this when I was a new mom and my daughter was an infant, and it was like nap time and washing bottles and then feeding her and doing this and doing this and doing this and all this stuff. And I felt like I had no me time. And so there was a couple days that I said, okay, from the time I get up to the time that I get out, I am taking a piece of paper and I am writing down, okay, it is 7:35, wake up, okay. And then I'm going to get my coffee and this and that. Okay, 8 o'clock, Peyton wakes up. I'm going to feed her and this and that. And like, I literally broke it out in every chunk of time of what I was doing. And then I was able to visually see like, hey, you have 45-minute block right here. Hey, you have a 2-hour block right here where she's napping, where you're not having to wash bottles or whatever it is, or work or whatever it is. So that way I was able to fit in my me time, whether that's showering or watching a true crime show or whatever it is. But being able to visually see like, oh, we do have some pockets of time where I can work. Or because a lot of times people come to me saying, I don't have any time for a side hustle. I don't have any time. I bet you if we did a time audit, we can find some time. Or you may say, I'm working and I'm, raising my family and taking care of the house and all this stuff. I don't have any me time. Chances are if we did a time audit, we could find some me time for you as well. So it goes both ways. And when you're doing a time audit, it's such a great like visual of, okay, this is where I'm spending my time. This is where I'm endlessly scrolling when I shouldn't be. This is where my time wasters are, or this is when I'm really productive. I've also noticed that when my brain, especially with ADHD, when are my high brain times? So I know that my best brain is at like 10 a.m. And my worst brain just gets worse as the day goes on. So I know that if I am doing something that is super focused and is going to take a lot of my brain energy and I want to be like extra smart, I do it first thing in the morning. If it's something like creating content or maybe, editing, then I can do that later on in the day because that doesn't need all the creative juices. So also kind of evaluating how are you feeling during the day and knowing when your high brain is and when your not so high brain is. Like I'll schedule meetings more in the afternoon because that doesn't take as much mental energy for me. And I want to save my high brain for my like writing or scripting or having to think about how I'm going to pitch this to a sponsor or something like that. The next home hack is to brain dump before you get started working or before you get started on a big project. I don't know about you, but my brain, like, it's always going. It's always thinking about all this stuff. And there's so many times where I'll go to sit down on a project and I just have all this stress about all these other things. And I've noticed that if I take even 90 seconds and just in a notebook or in a Google Doc or in a piece of paper and just write down all of my thoughts, all of my concerns, all of the things of like, oh, I need to call this person. Oh, I need to add bananas to the grocery list. Oh, I need to do whatever this is, and or stressors or whatever it is, that if I'm able to write it all out to clear my head, then I am so much more productive. David Allen has a quote that says, "Your mind is made for having ideas, not holding them." And when I heard that, that was such an aha moment for me. I'm so much like, don't forget this, don't forget, don't forget, don't forget, don't forget. And then that stresses me out that I'm going to forget, and then I'm not able to focus on what I'm supposed to focus on. So if you're in the don't forget, don't forget, don't forget, don't forget, or I'm stressed about this, or I'm stressed about this, then it just is so overwhelming. I recently had a meeting with my project manager, and we were working on a big project, but there was something else that was stressing me out, another timeline that is after the project that we were working on, but I needed to get it nailed down, and I need to schedule meetings where we were going to have about that. And it was stressing me out. And so I said, okay, before we talk about this project, we need to address this. Can we take 15 minutes to talk about this so I can clear my head? And so we did that. And yes, it delayed it for a couple minutes, but afterwards I was able to let go of that stress and concern. So do a brain dump before you start working. It's really going to help. And then alongside with that is have a notebook or have a piece of paper beside you as you work. And as you get ideas, as things pop up in your head, write them down. And don't do it of like, oh, I need to text this person. Let me just go and text them real quick. Or, oh, I need to do this. Let me just go real quick. That leads to distraction. That leads from one thing, leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. I always have a notebook beside me as I work, that those things that get added to my brain, whether it's like a creative reel I could make, or add we're running out of diapers. Oh my gosh, I need to get diapers. I need to add that to the grocery list. Whatever it is, I just add it to the paper and let it go, and don't do it right then. Then when I'm done, then I can go and take my list and say, okay, what do I need to do with this? Okay, I need to like email this person, or let me add it to my ClickUp notifications, or let me add it to the grocery list, or whatever it is. So then I take 5 or 10 minutes and categorize that to-do list and put it so I don't forget those ideas, because I don't want to lose them as well and just have them on some random piece of paper. I want to actually like go and do something with them, but wait until you're actually done before doing that. The next home hack is to take 5 minutes a day to clean up your phone or clean up your photos on your computer. How many times are you paying for extra storage on your phone or whatever it is? But did you know that you can go into your photos and just type in the date without the year, and it's going to bring up all of the past pictures from that date. So for instance, you can type in September 1 or 9/1, and it's going to bring up all of the pictures from all the years that you've had that phone or device, and you can go through and delete duplicates or whatever it is. I try to do this every single day to clean out my photos. There's so many times where I'm taking pictures of Peyton or whatever it is, and I've got like 20, and I only want to keep 1 or 2 of them because they're all basically the same, or some of her eyes are closed or whatever it is. Or there's maybe times where you took a screenshot 4 years ago and you're like, what was this? I don't remember why I did this. Or it was a meme, a screenshot of a meme that you sent to someone, but now you don't need it on your phone anymore. So going through this, and sometimes I'll do it, I like to do it every day, but sometimes if I have 15 minutes or whatever it is, I'll go through like a week. So I'll do like 9/1, 9/2, 9/3, 9/4, 9/5, all the way up to whatever it is, and clear those out. Another thing that I like to do is go for the past week and go through all of your screenshots. And why did you take that screenshot? Was it something like, for me, I'm always taking screenshots of content ideas like, oh, I love that reel, but I could put this spin on it. So I'll take a screenshot, but then it just stays in my screenshots folder or just on my phone. So I'll take that time to say, okay, these are the things. And then now I need to categorize it, or I need to put it in a content folder, or I need to put it in ClickUp, which is my management software that I use for content ideas. So going through and categorizing it, or doing whatever you want to do with that screenshot, and then deleting it or moving into a folder. But actually using the things that you screenshot. There's so many times where I'll screenshot something and then I never use it, and it's just taking up space in my phone and not organized. So take some time to go through your photos every day, and then also clean up your screenshots, figure out, why do I need this, delete what you don't need, and free up storage. The next home hack is the 2-minute rule. And I'm sure we have heard of the 2-minute rule where if it's going to take you 2 minutes or less, just do it now. And it's kind of along the same concept of don't put it down, put it away. That's something that I have had to learn the hard way is don't just put it down, put it away. Don't just put the dishes in the sink, put them in the dishwasher. And so doing these 2-minute tasks, a lot of times they feel like they're going to take longer. But then in reality, it's only going to take you 2 minutes or less. There's so many times where I will procrastinate writing an email to someone or replying to an email for days and days because I feel like it's going to take so much more time. And then in reality, if I set my timer toggle, next thing I know, I reply to the email and it took like 1 minute and 37 seconds. I should have done it when they first emailed me, but I just get so like, oh, that's going to take too much time. It's going to take too much brain energy of just doing it now. So some examples could be breaking down Amazon boxes. How many times have we let them pile up? Or clearing off the counter. Just clearing off the counter, wiping it down, it makes the kitchen so much more presentable. And in reality, oftentimes it takes so much less than we think. Sometimes what I'll do is if I think a task is going to take me a ton of time or I don't want to do it or whatever it is, I'm like, all right, let's see how long it really takes. Let me set a stopwatch. So if I am putting away laundry or folding laundry, I'm the queen of, I will fold the laundry, but then it sits on the island and doesn't get put away. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll put on a stopwatch and be like, okay, how long is it going to take to bring it from the kitchen island to the bedrooms and put it away? And then I'll look and be like, you know what? That was only 4 minutes and 26 seconds. Like that was a lot less time than I thought it was. Okay, so now I know for next time, you know what, Kelly, last time it only took you 4 minutes. It's gonna be under 5 minutes. Just do it now. So having that kind of tough love talk with yourself of it's going to take less than 2 minutes, whatever it's going to do, just do it now. Another thing that I've used this with is clearing off my desk. Especially with my ADHD, I am the queen of piles. And I see all these piles and I have all these piles and I think that they're organized because they're not scattered, they're in piles. And so piles are organized, right? Kind of, not really. But next thing I know, the piles add up or the clutter. Like I'll be using my like mini tripod in the kitchen and then I don't want it on the kitchen counter anymore. So I want to put it away. So I just put it on my desk. Whereas my desk is more away than the kitchen counter, but it's not where it's truly supposed to be. So taking those 2 minutes to clear off my desk and to organize it and wipe it down. I am someone that, especially with like my desk, that it doesn't really bother me. Like if you look at my husband's desk and my desk is way more cluttered than his. He is a minimalist and does not have ADHD. And so I'm like, you know what? It doesn't bother me. Like, it's fine. But when it is cleared off, I'm like, oh, this is really nice. Oh, okay. Maybe I am a little bit more focused. So a lot of times that clutter affects us more than we think it does and affects us more than we give it credit. So take 2 minutes, clean it off your desk, organize the piles, remove the piles, put the piles away, organize the mail, whatever it is, but take those 2 minutes. The next hack is using noise canceling headphones. I am someone that if I'm working and I hear background noise, I can't work. Like I'll be working and Jamie will be in the other end of the room, like the other side of the living room or whatever it is, watching TikTok, and I can hear him and it's on low, but I can hear it. Nope, I can't work. Like I'm like, you got to go in the other room. I need to leave, whatever it is. So instead, I just put in noise canceling headphones and that has made a world of a difference for me. I am someone, like I said, I need absolute silence. Or if I'm working at a coffee shop, or sometimes I'll go to the YMCA because I have the childcare for my daughter. I'll go there to work and people are chit and chatting and this and that. And like, it drives me nuts that I can't work. So noise canceling headphones has been a game changer for me. I'll link the ones that I use below. And then I also love to use them to multitask. So while I'm washing dishes or while I'm cleaning, then I can pop in an audiobook or a podcast and then I can be learning as I'm doing that task as well. So noise canceling headphones, it sounds simple, but honestly, when I'm not using them, when I get out of that habit, I'm just more irritable when I'm working or I'm not getting as much done. But when I'm able to block everything out, I can get into like my hyper focus, laser focus mode, and it's amazing. Don't forget to download the 75 Business Challenge as well as get your free ticket to Get Organized HQ Summit. Oh, I'm so excited. So get your ticket, link down below in the description. And if you want to see the income, the breakdown of how it made $13,000 in 1 month, check out this video here. And if you want to see how to balance a full-time job and a side hustle, check out this video here.